Right. All right. How's everybody doing today?
Marvelous.
Just getting rock and rolling here. More people are going to join up as we get going. And so, can everybody hear me okay?
Yes.
Awesome. Cool. All right. So one of the benefits of showing up early is we get to highlight you and your business. So what I would recommend you do, Alan, if you can lead by example, and you can rename yourself. So after Alan Reeves, if you can put mousecallsonline.com. So Alan Reeves -mousecallsonline.com, or your phone number, or however you want people that are going to watch this video, because this is streaming live on YouTube. It's going to go out to probably 65,000, 75,000 people when everything is said and done. And I want to make sure I highlight you because you're here on the live call. And that's one of the benefits. So definitely rename your name to whatever you want to appear on that YouTube stream and that video and all the other marketing that we do to highlight you and your business. I'd love to get you some traffic and some attention there. And so welcome to this week's call. I got my co-host here, Mr. Alan Reeves. Alan, what's going on, man?
It's an interesting day on this part of the country. The temperature is about 35 degrees lower than it was yesterday, which makes me mad that I'm not in California with John Pyron playing golf, but that's okay.
Hey,
we're going to recover.
Hey, you know what, man? I was talking to a friend of mine. In fact, she's on here, Michelle Callaway, earlier, and no, it was another person. They're like, hey, so I see you're playing golf a lot. And I'm like, yeah, about 3 or 4 times a week. I got a 14-year-old and restructured everything where I get started about 4:45 in the morning, get done around 2. And so able to take him out and play some golf. And he was just like, man, must be nice. I'm like, no, I worked my butt off to get my business to that point. And you may recall, actually, I think you and I started working together in 2015, but earlier that year, it was Steve Napaton. It's like, hey, let's design your life that you want first, and then let's build a business to support that lifestyle. And it took about 2.5 years to get my business to the point where I can do what I do now, which is, hey, go play golf with my kid. He's 14, very impressionable age. And so I wanted to do this call for small business owners that are not where they want to be, looking for strategy, looking for, action plans, create a situation where you can show up here and ask whatever question you have about whatever challenge or problem you have in your business or any opportunity that you have, and be able to receive some good, solid strategy and coaching. So the way that works, kind of some housekeeping items before we get started, is I'm going to talk for a little bit about a business topic of some sort that is relevant right now. And Alan's going to do the same thing around technology. And then our guest speaker today here is Michelle Callaway with Revealio. She's owns a company called Tech with Heart. And she's a joint venture partner of mine that, I would refer, my closest relative to and not have any worry about it. So want to pick her brain on marketing today, and then we're going to open it up. So we're only going to go about, just so everybody knows, about 10, 15 minutes on what it is that we want to talk about. And then the rest of the call is all you. So be thinking about whatever business problem, challenge that you're facing in your industry, and feel free to put that in the chat window or write it down on a list, and first person to raise their hand when I open it up is the person's going to come on the live call, and we're going to do our best today to help you out. So that's kind of the format of the call. And so anything you want to add to that, Alan, before we get started?
No, that covers. Roll on.
Okay, cool. All right. So one of the things that I started doing in my own business, I hadn't done for a while, but several clients have are at a place in their business where, you know, they're $300,000, $400,000 a year. They've got 3 or 4 people, and the common thing I'm running into with these companies is I'm maxed, man. I'm maxed out. I've got a great team. They're productive. They're, you know, 80, 85% productive. I mean, you know, what's my next move? You know, how do I make that next step towards $1 million a year in revenue? So that's one client, one set of clients. The other set of clients, they're about 1.4, 1.5 mil. They got a team of 12, 15 people, and they're like, how do I scale? And so it always comes back to the thing I always have done in the years I've been building companies, and this now 31 years into this, building companies, and the simplest system works the best. The simplest is the simpler you can keep things in business, the better. And so I don't know where I learned this from. I've just been using it for years in my own company and have taught it to thousands of other business owners, but it kind of tags on to the E-Myth, John Gerber, and kind of a combination of Mike Michalowicz and several other business owners that I've followed for years, and including my own company. It's like, how do you know? How do you know what you should be doing in your business? Where should you spend your time? And at what point do you either hire an employee or outsource a certain task? And it all comes down to a system I created called 4 lists. And I'm going to share that. I'm going to share the template, the step-by-step instruction on how to do this with everybody on today's call. That's kind of the thing I'm going to give everybody is basically you're going to create 4 lists. And so let me stop this virtual background stuff because it's looking weird. And I have to make sure I have my green screen on next time. And then let me go to this whiteboard over here. So give me 1 second. I know it's kind of, you know, I'm not interested in the popularity contest here. It's just I want to be able to give you some good content that you can take action on as a business owner. So let me see if I can flip this. Give me 1 second. Everybody see that? Okay. All right. So what I tell people is a four list. Can you all see that? Okay. So the first list is you're going to list out the tasks that you do. And if you are a company that has employees, you want to have your employees do this too. So you want to list out here all the tasks, and it can be stuff like email. It could be bookkeeping. It could be whatever, right? So that's column number 1 on the spreadsheet. And the template I'm going to send you is the spreadsheet. You just fill in the blanks on the spreadsheet, step-by-step instructions. But the first column is going to be the tasks. The second column is, okay, how much time per week do you spend doing that task? Okay, and you don't have to, you know, I have some of my clients that are engineering firms, and they get literally down to the minute. I'm not interested in that. Guesstimate the time. So if you think maybe I spend 5 hours a week in email, you're just going to put 5 hours. Okay. If it's a half hour in bookkeeping, 0.5. So that way I could total up this column. Okay. Second one is I am great at it, and I want to do more of it. Now, whether you should be doing more of it in your business as a business owner is a whole different conversation. But for the sake of this exercise, look at the task over here, and literally the spreadsheet I'm going to send you, I just want you to put an X in that column. I love to do it. I'm great at it. I want to do more of it in my business. What's going to be left over is the stuff you're not great at and you shouldn't be doing as a business owner, and you don't want to do it anymore. Okay? Now, where this comes into place for employees, there are a lot of tasks. Once you start hiring employees, or you get people on staff, you're going to find that there are stuff that bleeds into their responsibilities they shouldn't be doing based off of their personality, their skill set, their motivation level, their driving forces, if you will. They suck at it, and they're taking way too much time, and I can give it to somebody else on the team that would be a lot more productive. Okay, so we got column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4. This next column is, can I automate, delegate, or outsource this task? Okay, checkbox. Okay, or you can do something like one of my clients did an A for automate, D for delegate, and O for outsource. Okay, and they just put a checkbox. Once you have this spreadsheet in place, do it in Excel, Google Sheets, whatever, then you can resort this based on this time column. And it will tell you, hey, there are 20 hours of stuff I do each week that I should not be doing, that I'm not great at. And so that's where you can look at it and go, let me turn this around here. Okay, I know this is unconventional, but it's a work in progress here. But when you look at that list, you can look at it and go, okay, I got 20 hours a week of stuff that I shouldn't be doing. And the thing is can I hire somebody? Can I automate it? Can I delegate it? Can I outsource it? That will give you your roadmap. Literally for the rest of the time you're in business. I do it even today. I do it when I had one company, $8.5 million a year, 46 employees. Made every employee do this twice a year. Because one of the things I learned is, in order to get productivity to 85, 90%, where it's super, super profitable, I need to make sure I'm giving the task to the employees that they could be doing, they should be doing, that they want to do more of, that they love to do. And it prevents me from hiring people that I don't need to hire. But from a small business owner standpoint, maybe I'm at $50,000 a year, maybe I'm at $100,000 a year, maybe I'm at a point where most business owners, most solo entrepreneurs, when they first start, they're going to get stuck about that $250,000 range. They're like, I'm working 65, 70 hours a week, and I can't do this no more. So what's my first hire? Should I hire? My thing is, if I don't have to hire a W-2 employee, I'm not going to do it. I would rather have, like in my case, I have 4 VAs that I divvy up the different tasks to, because there's not enough of those specific tasks to warrant an employee. Okay? And so this allows me as a business owner to be a surgeon in my business and go, okay, this particular area is costing me 20 hours. I'll give you an example. I had a client of mine, Jackson Sands Engineering. Look them up. Jackson Sands Engineering out of Chico. They are going to finish up 3 years in business in September. When I first took them on, they were only in business for 2 months. 2 employees, both professional engineers. They got tired of their boss, and they said, sayonara. We're going to start our own company. Challenges that they ran into right away is, we have no idea how to run a business. We have no idea what to do. We just know we're great engineers, and we got some people that are paying us some money. It's a good problem to have, right? And so I taught them how to be a business owner. I taught them this. Now we're getting ready to hire their 5th employee. They're going to do very, very close to almost $1 million this year in less than 3 years of being in business. Okay? Huge, huge growth. But the reason I bring them up as an example is they have literally systematically done this over time. And so we know exactly when we want to bring in an employee. They're running a little over 85% productivity across the board. Super, super profitable. Okay? So this will work in whatever business you have, whatever industry you have. When you're looking to free yourself up as a business owner and not knowing where to begin, this is a great great roadmap, okay, that will serve you not only now, but for the rest of your business career. And if you teach this to your customers, they're going to love you, and it's going to create that stickiness with your client. So any questions about this, put them in the chat window. We'll get to the questions later, but I want to kind of open it up for Mr. Allen to share with us what's on your mind and heart today as our business technology expert on today's call. And you're muted.
There it goes. I guess the tech guy was having difficulty with his mouse clicker. How's that? So I'm talking to you today from the Entrepreneur Center here in downtown Nashville, Tennessee. And I'm here partly because I do come here once or twice a week, but I was also a guest on a podcast earlier today called Tech Don't Sleep. And one thing that I was talking about for a very short time was basically cybersecurity and network security. And nobody that has a business, with the exception of a very certain few, that if your business is really less than 20 employees, unless you're in healthcare or unless you are mandated like financial services and the Security and Exchange Commission says you have to have these certain things, you may not think that you need to do anything in this regard. And I wanted to point something out to everybody, a real world example of something today. When you connect to the internet, if you go through Comcast or Spectrum or AT&T or Cox or whoever happens to be your broadband provider across the country, what are you connecting to? You're connecting to the internet. And you don't think about it. Okay? The internet is a really nasty place. Like, it's foul. There are viruses in there. There are parasites in there. There are dead bodies floating around. There are pirates sailing around. There are people that want to take your money. There are people that will hold your business at ransom. There are all these things that are floating in that internet water. And the vast majority of people will hook straight up to it and not think about it. Now, that is the equivalent of hooking up your house to a water supply and there's no filter. There's no filtration system at all. Just, open that spigot, and if it's green or brown, well, I'm just going to drink it without thinking about it because I'm willing to take that chance. Well, you can't do that with your business. Number one, the federal government requires certain businesses to have that filter. Secondly, no business should be without it. And I bring to the table this. This is an actual report. This is a CPA firm that consists of one woman in Reno, Nevada. One woman with a home office. And we put a network firewall in to filter that water, so to speak. And I pulled her report from March of this year. Now, before I give you this number, I want you to stop for a second. I want you to think about this. Imagine that your car is in a parking lot. You park it in the parking lot. And imagine that somebody that's up to no good at all is wandering the parking lot. And they're, just really subtly backing up to cars and pulling on the door handle, just seeing who might be unlocked. Okay? That's all they're doing, just scouting out this parking lot to see if that door might have been left unlocked. And if it has, you know what they're probably going to do next. So think of this. That I'm going to call that a port scan. A port scan is just checking the doorknob or checking the door handle to see if it's unlocked. Okay? So this woman's network, this CPA firm, CPA woman, one person show, in Reno, Nevada, our firewall blocked an average of 2,233 attacks from port scanners daily in March. 34,354 hacking attempts from within the United States alone. Period. I'm not going to be able to line that up and get to the screen anyway. I'll send everybody.
Let me ask you a question real quick. So, as a sole entrepreneur and the people that are on this call and listen to the recording, so they need to have a firewall. Okay. And if there's somebody like me, where I travel and I take my laptop everywhere, should I have something on? Is there something I can install on my laptop? I have a MacBook, but other people have PCs. Is there something I can install that can have a firewall wherever I go?
Yes and no. Now, I'm not going to go down a road. We drift into consulting, right? But I will tell you this: we get calls all the time lately from people wanting to know more about VPNs. What VPN should I get because I want to stay secure? Folks, all that a VPN is a connection to another bank of computers somewhere that you're paying for. You have no idea whose computers those are, where they are, who's controlling them, and where your information is being routed through. You have no clue. Plus, a lot of these VPN companies are getting hacked. I mean, I have these extensive conversations because it's very counterintuitive to what's being marketed to you. So
the moral of the story, right, is if you're a small business owner, right, which you guys specialize in, never assume that Wi-Fi at the restaurant or the hotel or any of that stuff is going to be secure. You know, I had a client one time, a cybersecurity expert. He's like, met with him for dinner, and he's like, I'm sitting there doing work when they arrived, and you're going, are you using the Wi-Fi here? I'm like, could be. I mean, and he lit my butt up, man. He's like, never do that again. You know, and so really, it's like, you know, the point is like, whether you're a solo entrepreneur or whether you have lots of computers, you need to make sure that your technology is safe. And so, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, if they go to Mouse Calls Online, can you kind of like, is there a way that you can is there some sort of way that you can evaluate their stuff?
We can, yeah. I mean, we do it every day. All you need to do is reach out to me, reach out to us, and we'll get a survey and anything that you need. We'll go up and down, just a tech analysis of what you're doing, how you're doing it, what you're doing it with. Okay.
All right. So if you're on the live call, put your tech questions in the chat window. We're going to get to them towards the end. We already have a couple of questions going, and so I want to get to Michelle real quick. And so, Michelle, if you can unmute yourself. And let me introduce Michelle. Michelle has a company called Revealio. And, you know, take about 30 seconds, 45 seconds. Tell us about your company, what it is that you do, what's your core business, who's your core client.
Thanks, John. My name is Michelle Callaway. I'm in the San Francisco Bay Area. And Revealio means to reveal your brand magically. And we are a disruptive marketing and media and software company, but we focus today on the media side because we have some pretty cool stuff going on that we can help people with their visibility. So if you want to stop just surviving in a sea of digital noise, the idea here is to start building your own island of success, build a beacon on that island so bright that you'll attract everything that is meant for you and more, and provide a safe place for others to follow you and grow alongside you, or, you know, follow your guidance like John is doing. So one of the ways that we do that, or many of the ways that we do, is through media, putting media content out there regularly so people can know, like, and trust you very quickly and provide value and start speaking more, start speaking on virtual stages, start speaking on real stages, and then let's boost that and take it to television. We're seeing a huge shift in the market about how people are consuming their television content. And so we're taking advantage of that shift, just like back in the day when YouTube first got started. So we're really advocates for helping you step out of just being a business owner to perhaps start leading, be a thought leader, step into an influencer role, and start producing content or bringing other experts onto your show like I do, or they provide even more guidance and value back to our entrepreneurial network. But then we broadcast that over television, over podcast, over internet radio, over the internet, over YouTube, all these different channels, so that we're omni-channel, so that we're getting our message out all over the place.
And so basically, your whole business is getting attention for business owners, right? Like myself and that sort of thing. And so, if you don't mind, the way I connected with, I forget how we even connected. It was years ago.
And Katrina Sawa event,
And then, Katrina Sawa, And so I'm sitting there going, you know what? Michelle and I are going after the same client. I don't do what she does. She doesn't do what I do. I picked up the phone. I'm like, hey, we're both going after the same client. Let's have a call. We connected on the phone. We were able to do some joint venture stuff. It was good for your business, good for my business. And so here's the moral of the story is if you're on the live call or listening to the recording, you want to look for angles, joint ventures of people that are going after your same client. And so one of the things that ended up happening in that process, I was so impressed, I became your client. And then I bought something just because the landing page was so good, and then I totally forgot I bought it. And they were having a conversation, I think almost an hour ago. I'm like, oh, that's right, I bought that sort of thing. What am I supposed to do? And apparently, I guess I'm going to be on TV, and I'm going to do all this stuff, and I'm going to become a best-selling author, and that was the whole thing. And so tell us about, as a small business owner, what we're talking about here is companies that are less than $1 million. What is the one thing that you as your company can be, if you were on stage right now speaking to 100 business owners that were all under $1 million trying to get there, what is the one thing that you would be able to tell us right now that we can take action on today, that would make us stand out? And then I want you to follow that up with telling them about the package that I bought, because I think that's still available.
So I think the number one thing that we can do is differentiate ourselves, separate us from the pack. So like if you're a business coach, how many other business coaches do you know, right? So what can you say, or can you present to the world that will help you within less than 3 seconds, maybe differentiate yourself, or maybe less than 30 seconds. So 3 seconds is kind of tight. But one of the things that we're really big advocates are is disrupting the normal brain pattern. So if you were even to check out what we've done with Revealio, we use an augmented reality marketing tool to really disrupt people's normal way of thinking by showing them what you do instantly when you meet them in person, being able to show them what you do in a way that's kind of Harry Potterish, so disruptive. And then another thing you can do is you can say, hey, I'm in the news, or get interviewed by some bigger celebrities, or get onto bigger stages and speak. So you have to differentiate yourself from the pack. If you're an auto mechanic and you want to be seen as different and somebody that they should follow and go to, then start your own show. Start sharing value, showing up regularly on the internet. Show up, but show up in a way that they can see you, hear you, identify whether or not they think you're authentic through your body language, and just do more of that. Do more showing up. I can potentially help you take it to the next level and get you on TV. I can get you onto podcasts. It's about getting out there, even on other people's platforms besides yourself. So that's what I would suggest you do more of, is try and get yourself broadcast out there more and edified by others as an expert in your industry, separating yourself from everybody else that does something similar to what you're doing.
Yeah. It's all about attention. Marketing is attention, and good attention, bad attention, all attention's good, in the world of marketing. So as long as it drives them to your page. And so what, is there a landing page that people can go to that you can put in the chat window, and then also
Yeah.
say it on the audio, so that way it goes out to the podcast channel. What is a landing page people can go to learn more about you and this attention getting package that you created?
I'm gonna go ahead and share the opportunity that's on the table right now, because it's a very awesome opportunity. This is the one that John jumped on, and it's for those who want to step up and speak more. You don't have to be a seasoned speaker, but what we do is we want to give you a platform on television to be seen as a presenter, a speaker. And so what we're looking for are people who want to share a 7 to 15 minute signature talk about whatever it is that they want to speak about. It could be about your business, or it could be about motivational, inspirational talk. However you would like to start stepping out and differentiating yourself from the normal pack. Then you create a video around that talk. You can shoot it in your living room, you can shoot it from your couch, you can shoot it on Zoom. The idea here is to create a nice, beautiful piece with your voice, you presenting, that we can then broadcast on television and over internet radio and over podcasts to basically give online event planners or people who are searching for their next speaker a one-stop shop channel to find you, to hire you. So that's the goal here, is to help you be seen by more and differentiate yourself as a speaker, stepping into that thought leader role, and then be discovered so that you can start getting paid to be the influencer in your niche that you are. And so you can go to Revealio, which is the word reveal, io.com/short talks TV. Or
Short Talk TV, all one word?
Short Talks with a plural, Short Talks TV. So Revealio.com/short talks TV. That will get you where you need to get all the information. You can decide whether or not this is an opportunity for you, but it is kind of a limited time because we're going to launch this brand new television channel on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV in May, at the end of May. So in that bonus, we're throwing in the opportunity to get featured in a compilation book as an expert in writing a chapter of your story alongside others and become a bestseller this year, and guaranteed to be a bestseller. So that's a big win. It's a big bonus.
Yeah. So here's what I'll do. For those of you that aren't speakers, that aren't seasoned professional speakers, I know you are, Michelle. I've been doing speaking for well over 25 years. I've trained lots, like thousands of speakers. And so here's what I'll do. What's the deadline that they have to have their talk done by?
We're shooting for the beginning of May, which is a tight deadline, which is why I'm so glad you're able to let me come on here and share this. But we could go an extra week, if they need the extra time, we could give them
May 8th.
The second week in May, because we're launching it on the 25th. We're going live, launching it to the world, doing a big, huge push, and doing a press announcement and everything. So you'd want to be a part of that if you decide this is a good fit for you.
All right, so if they got to have this done by May 8th, so here's what I'm going to do then, is, I got to find room here. I'm going to do, it's a tight window, man. All right, I'm going to just do 4:30. So 4:30 p.m., can you, I need to get this book. I'm going to do a training. I'm going to do a free webinar. I'm going to do a free training, and only for the people that you guys want to promote this to, okay? It's not going to be paid for. It's going to be to help you with your speech. I'm going to show you exactly how to design a 7 to 15 minute signature talk, okay? I'm going to break down step by step, okay? I'm doing my actual signature talk for this event right after I'm going to do this training call, okay? So, but for those of you that aren't seasoned speakers, you don't know how to whittle a 45-minute, you've never done a speech, never done a signature talk, whatever, I'm going to break down the components. Here's how you design your talk. Here's the components of it. Here's how you present it. Here's how you pitch it. Here's how you practice for it. Here's how you deliver it. I'm going to break that whole thing down, okay? And so send, text me. There you go. Text me at 916-741-0596. 916-741-0596. Text me your name and your email. I'll send you the 4-list exercise I talked about today. I'm going to send you the Zoom info for this private training, okay? If you know of any speakers that want to join it, feel free to share it, but I'm not going to broadcast this out. I'm not going to advertise it. It's going to be for those of you that showed up on this call as a reward, and those of you that are listening to the recording. But I can tell you right now, I would normally charge $5,000 for this, but I'm going to do it for free. Okay? So I'm going to teach you how to craft your signature talk so that way you can customize. It's like my old speaking coach said, you should have a 5-minute talk, you should have a 15-minute talk, you should have a 45-minute talk, and you should have a 2-hour talk. And I'm going to show you how to take a 2-hour talk, break it down to 45 minutes, break it down to 15 minutes, break it down to 5 minutes. And it's going to be a signature talk that you're going to be able to, if I called you and said, hey, you need to be on stage in an hour, okay, and I got 200 people because I've had this happen, you're pitch hitting, John, is what I was told. I was sitting there flip-flops and shorts and a Tommy Bahama. I was sipping on a margarita when I got that call. And I was supposed to be on stage in a suit in an hour and a half in front of 180 people. I'm like, what am I going to talk about? He goes, just whatever you want. I'm like, thank God I had a signature talk because I knocked it out of the park. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So if you've always wanted to learn that, again, text me your name, email, so I can add you to the invite, 916-741-0596. Okay? So thanks so much, Michelle. I appreciate that.
Value, John. You're always so gracious with your talents. I got to be straight up. Just edify you, saying that is so generous because giving people that structure, those who want to step out into a brighter limelight, this is such a critical nucleus of knowledge that you're giving them that really help them shine. Because being able to introduce yourself in 30 seconds or less, or a 3-minute intro, just to help people understand how you're different is so critical. So this is really excellent.
Yeah. Well, and so let me break down the science of what I just did. Okay, I have an audience. Okay, I have an opportunity. Okay, opportunities are problems are opportunities. Okay, so problem, people don't know how to create a signature talk. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But by the time this recording goes out and all the other stuff, there's probably going to be about 45, 50 people on that call. I'm going to teach step by step with no selling at all how to craft your signature talk. Okay, I'm going to bring my A game. I ain't going to leave anything out. And the benefit to me is I get the recording, I get the audio, and I get the transcript. And that becomes something that I can give away as a lead magnet for my business. Okay. And it's not going to cost anybody any dime, but it's a lot easier to do something like that on a live audience than it is to just sit in a studio. And then if it takes off, who knows? It could become a sellable product. So take what I just said and look at, okay, got a LinkedIn expert here. Is it Marina? I have no idea what Marina's business is. I know Barbara's business. I know Michelle's business. I know Alan's business. And I know Allison's business. And the strategy I just gave you, you think about your audience. What can I give them for free, okay, that can give them tremendous value that I can get the recording of, because that becomes marketable, okay, because you're marketing stuff. So you'll make a lot of money helping and serving a lot of people. It's like Cardone told me a long time ago, I make 100% of my money from 5% of what I sell. 95% of what I do, I give away for free. So think about that. All right, let's open it up because we're coming down. So Jacqueline asked the first question. So Jacqueline, if you want to unmute yourself, let's go over your question here.
Hi, John.
How are you?
I'm great, thank you. It's my first time attending your show. My friend Myrna, I knew that she was coming, so I decided to jump on board as well. So thanks for having me, and good information. My question was, based on your format here that you gave with the 4 lists, what do you distinguish as the difference between outsourcing and delegating?
So delegating would be I have somebody on staff that I'm going to delegate work to. Okay. Outsourcing would be I am going to outsource it to a contractor, a virtual assistant, a vendor That would be the difference between the two in my mind. Okay, delegate means I have somebody on staff that I can delegate this to. I happen to have a personal assistant who happens to be my wife, Allison, here. And so I delegate, right? I use Asana to track all my stuff. I put all my stuff in there, personal, business, everything. And I have it all in one location, and it doesn't require somebody to have an Asana membership. Asana's free. And I just I look on there and I go, I don't need to make that call. I don't need to do that. I don't need to schedule a haircut. I don't need to go wash my car. I don't need to do any of that stuff. I need to delegate that. Okay, so I delegate it. I don't need to create the graphic, like the graphic you see right now, where it says the graphic I'm using as my virtual background and the one that Alan's using. I mean, I could have done that, but I got Sonia out of Bogota, Colombia. She's a virtual assistant of mine. I outsourced it. I'm like, I need a virtual background for this Wednesday call. Let me know what you come up with. I didn't give her, that's the only instruction I gave her. And she came up with this graphic. I'm like, that's pretty cool. I couldn't have done it like that. Looks great. You know, but I have, with my list, I determined, okay, do I have to hire an employee? Can I get all that in one skill set? If I can, great. I'm going to hire somebody and I can delegate. Okay. If I can't, then I'm going to outsource. Okay. And so I have a video guy up and ready. I have a content writer. I have all these different outsourced resources that I outsource all my weaknesses. Does that make sense? I want to always operate my strengths, and that's how I'm able to grow and scale a business very, very quickly, is by understanding what my strengths are. Now, Ali, can you let's do this. Let's put this in the chat window for those that are on the live call. Can you go to TTI, grab that promo link for the assessment, right? So it'll give you your DISC, your behavior assessment, your motivators, your driving forces, and I think the one we created is for competencies, so your personal skill sets. And so if you use this link that she's going to give you, it's free, right? Take about 30 minutes to take the assessment, and it's going to automatically email you your assessment and a self-debriefing guide. Okay, that way you can just debrief yourself and understand what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, and the key, outsource your weaknesses or delegate them, and only do the work that maximizes your personal strengths. If you do that, you're going to scale your business a whole lot quicker. You'll make a whole lot more money. You'll be a lot happier. Okay? Does that answer your question, Jacqueline?
Absolutely. It gave me clarity based on how you developed your model, because for me, I don't have any internal employees per se. In your definition, I outsource everything, whereas for me, I see it as I'm delegating to my VA who is in another country.
Yeah. So automate, delegate, and outsource if you want a really good book on this subject, it's called Procrastinate on Purpose, and it's by Rory Vaden, R-O-R-Y, V as in Victor, A-D-E-N. It was released in January 2015. I was at the release party, had a chance to speak on the same stage with Roy. He's a great guy, but I love the book. I mean, it takes task management to a whole nother level and eliminates a lot of the guilt around not getting things done, because it really helps you focus on the stuff that's important. So, but he's got a whole chapter on how to automate, delegate, and outsource, and the different systems you can use to do that. Really, really good, valuable resource. So, Myrna, you're a TTI VA as well. That's awesome. So,
I know what you're talking about.
You can get with Myrna. You can get with me. It doesn't matter to me. Get that. Ali just put that survey link in the chat window there. Okay, grab that link. If you're listening via the podcast or on YouTube and you want this link, just go to send me a text, your name and your email to 916-765 or 916-741-0596. Put in their link, TTI link. That way I know what to send you, and I'll send you that link as well. And take that and you'll learn what your strengths are and what your weaknesses are, and take what I taught you here today and grow. That's how you're going to tell Sean and Frank went from, less than 30K a year to almost $1 million this year in less than 3 years. It's just getting the right team in place. So before I let you go, Jacqueline, is there anything that we can help you out with your business today? Any problem, challenge, opportunity you'd like to mastermind about?
It's actually interesting. I got a call, actually a LinkedIn connection from someone, a message from someone a few days ago, and their topic was of interest to me, but the way they went about it was very salesy. But I said, let me just hear what they have to say. So I had the call about an hour ago today, and as soon as they got on the phone, a barrage of questions and very salesy. And I waited till they finished, and I said, do you get a lot of business? Well, how long have you been doing this? And he said about 11 months. And I said, how has it been going for you? And he goes, yeah, I do okay. What else is he going to say? But I actually shared with him how salesy and offensive his approach was. And I said, it may work for men, but if your target audience, whom he told me was coaches and consultants, many of them are women and they don't like that approach. Can you share any way to find those who are salesy but don't know that they're salesy, because they're my target audience?
So you're looking for people that, let me clarify this, you're looking for people that sound salesy, their approach is incorrect, right? And that would be your target market.
That's one component of my target market, because they need to be able to fill their pipeline with their ideal client. And if they are offensive, obviously they're not going to be successful.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And so I'm a pushy salesperson right now, and I'm calling you, and you got me on the phone. You're like, oh my God, just land the plane. I mean, come on. And so we get to the end of my spiel here. What would you say to me?
Are you asking what I said to him?
Yeah.
I said, can I be very frank with you? And he said, yeah. And I said, as I mentioned before, how successful are you with this approach that you've been doing? And, he'll say whatever he says. And I said, can I share with you that the way it came across to me as a person of your ideal target audience, that was very offensive. And basically it made me feel that you did not care about me or what my needs were. Even though you're asking me questions about me, it's about you going through your checklist of questions and seeing how many you can check off to see if I qualify for your salesy thing. So I shared that with him, and he said he appreciated it and gave him something to think about.
Okay. And anything else, or is that that's it?
Well, I shared with him, I said, if you would like help with this, I'm not trying to sell you, but if you would like to really make a difference with this and you would like some help with it, I'd be happy to help you with it. And I left it at that.
Okay. All right, cool. So we all get these calls. Okay. And it wasn't until after I had been in sales for 22 years that I actually get professional sales training. I built lots of companies, didn't even know what I was doing, apparently, and didn't realize until after that I got professional sales training. And here's what I learned is every problem is an opportunity. And so let's just say you and I are on the phone. You're the pushy salespeople this time. You just ran me through what you went through, and now we're at the point where you have paused and I'm getting ready to respond. Okay, you want to role play this with me real quick? Okay. So Jacqueline, thanks so much for calling me today. I really appreciate that. And it's definitely a lot to consider. Let me ask you a quick question. How long have you been in sales?
15 years.
About 15 years. No, you're this guy that called you. You've been in sales for
11 months. 11 months.
11 months. Okay. And obviously you've been taught by whoever your manager is or your mentor to approach people this way, right?
Yes.
Okay. And just out of curiosity, over the last 90 days, have your results been what you want them to be?
Well, if I'm trying to sell you, I'm going to say yes, but it's probably no.
Okay. Would you like to get a better result when you call people and land more deals?
Yes.
Okay. And you're open to some coaching?
Possibly.
Okay. So I don't know you. You don't know me. You don't know if you like me and vice versa, but here's what I can do. Let me send you, I got a resource I'll send you, okay, some training that I've done for salespeople just like you, okay, some tips, some tricks, right? I'll send it to you. No obligation at all. Check it out. If you resonate with me, okay, then why don't you and I connect on a 10-minute phone call, and I can see how I can help you out. Would it be worth my time and your time if I sent that to you?
Sure.
Okay. So I took that problem, turned it into an opportunity. I created a call to action. Don't know if he's going to be a candidate or not, but I do know this. If he's calling me, he's calling from a company. He's got a quota on his freaking head. He's got a sales manager breathing down his neck, and I want access to that sales manager if I'm in a business like you. Right? So I want him to give me his email and his contact info, and I want to send him some, a free magnet, a little video, tips and tricks thing, whatever, that can, give him something that he can do next on his next call that'll make an improvement, right? And then I want to earn the right to be able to have a 10-minute phone call with him, because he's probably not going to be the guy that I'm going to sell to. I want his manager, and I want the owner of his company, right? So I'm going to reverse. The technique is called reverse prospecting. Okay. So I would be subscribing, if I were you, I'd be subscribing to everybody's freaking email list on the planet that their company has a lot of salespeople, and I want to get their emails, and I want to get their phone calls. I want to reverse prospect them. I want to take a real world scenario just like this, and I'm going to go, you know what? I want to fire up Zoom. You can go back and take this recording and chop this up if you want. I want to go back and go, I just got off a call with a salesperson. You know what that guy did? That guy said this, and this. I got to the end and I said, man, you know what? Does that process work for you? And I want to tell him exactly what I told the guy on the video. And here's what I told the guy. Here's what you can do. Boom, 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 boom. Try this out on your next call and give me a call. That becomes a magnet video for you. That's a real world problem that salespeople have that you just solved with somebody else, and that goes out on your LinkedIn, that goes out on your Facebook, your Instagram, your podcast, wherever channels you have that get your attention, right? And you start becoming a magnet for salespeople. In 2012, when I decided to start a sales training company, I'm like, I'm a great speaker and I got a podcast channel and I got all this, until I ran into Comcast Mortgage, referred to me by Sean Curry. Mike Arciero was the sales manager. Call Mike. Mike will have you in as a guest speaker. I call up Mike January 2014. Man, I'm a great speaker. I'd love to become a great, come in and do a speaking engagement for your sales team. Sean's a good friend of mine. He works for you. Hey, man, no problem. Send me your info. I sent him an email. Called him up. No response. Sent him a text. No response. Sent him an email again, no response. Mailed him a postcard, no response. 45 follow-ups later, a year, it wasn't until March of the following year, I go, this guy's never heard me speak. I don't even have a video on YouTube. I should start a YouTube channel. So I started this YouTube channel. If you go onto my YouTube channel, look at the oldest 2 videos, the very first 2 videos I post on there, it's a result of Mike Arciero that I created those videos. And I go, he's never heard me speak. Maybe he's had egg on his face inviting a trainer in. I don't know. Maybe he has a phobia. Maybe I sound bad. I don't know, So I sent him these 2 videos. 45 minutes later, said, when can you come in and speak? I spoke there April 4th, 10:30 a.m. in the morning. and sold 7 people on my sales training program. But it dawned on me, there's not enough evidence out there to prove what I do, you know? And so you're in a unique position where you're a LinkedIn. I love the background that you have. Okay. The LinkedIn business lady, absolutely love it. And if your target market is salespeople, start producing content. Every time you run across a salesperson, a cheesy salesperson, somebody that's screwing it up and you got a better way of doing it, take that, create a micro piece of content, blow it out there, and you'll start getting that attention and get speaking engagements on training sales teams.
Thank you very much.
That'll blow your business up.
Michelle has a question.
Sure.
I just think that
anybody else got any feedback for Jacqueline real quick before
I think
we
that if
go
you
on to the
come
next
up with some clever titles to some of your little snippets or posts that you're doing, like I'm not that kind of girl. Like I'm not gonna just go to bed with you on the first date. Like you can get fun with it. To again differentiate yourself from all the other LinkedIn specialists. There's a lot of people out there doing what you're doing, and it's a needed business coaching kind of a thing for lead generation. But I just think whatever you can do to uniquely differentiate yourself, like form it into your part of your brand, like just be a little edgy or just come in from
my differentiation is the fact that I don't use Sales Navigator and it's not about paid ads. So it's not usually what everyone else thinks.
Okay, I'm just suggesting maybe be out front with your unique differentiator as kind of like your, instant, defining thing for you. That's all.
Thank you.
All right, so please put your contact information, Jacqueline, in the chat window, because I'm sick and tired of using Sales Navigator and paying for it and never leveraging it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I pay that $59.99. Actually, I think it's $79.99 a month. It comes out like clockwork for the last 4 years. I don't think I've done a jack with it, and I would really much better have a better LinkedIn strategy. So would love to connect with you on that level, possibly maybe, show up next week and we'll have you as the featured speaker. That'd be great. And then I'd love to talk to you about a joint venture we can do for my network as well.
That would be great. Thank you so much.
You bet. Who's next? First person to raise their hand. Now I'm going to call on somebody. Myrna, welcome aboard. She's like, absolutely not.
Okay, no,
there we go.
I'm just transitioning because I've been doing the TTI stuff for about 20 years, and then I owned a real estate company. And I just created a shelf-stable dry mix keto vegan burger. Okay. And I'm going into the manufacturing.
So a shelf-stable
dry mix keto vegan burger. So add water and stir to ingredients you can trust, a label you can read, like no fancy words in it like Beyond Meat has, like it's all healthy stuff. And I'm just starting to market it and manufacture and market it. It's called Babs, B-A-B-Z. But we don't even have a website yet. We talked to the designer this morning.
Awesome. And so how can we help you with it? Any challenges, problems, anything you'd like to mastermind about today on any of that?
Well, my point of differentiation, I think, would be, because this is becoming a really big popular space, is to do an outstanding job of creating community. So some of the things that Michelle was talking about relate to creating community. So I would like creating community or connections into that plant-based food space. Those would be the things that would be helpful to me.
Okay. And so we happen to have Michelle here, and she's a attention getter expert. What kind of feedback do you have, Michelle?
Go ahead, unmute myself. So when you're talking about building a community, you said?
Building a community based on plant-based foods, cooking as a family, those kinds of things, yeah.
Have you started doing any of the groundwork, maybe on one platform to just start kind of?
Just barely started, and actually, again, I just talked to that fellow that's going to do my SEO and my social media this morning and my website. So, yeah, we just got our production facility operational this week.
So I feel that, you know, there's a lot of noise out there. And so if you are able to post regularly, but post a lot of questions, evoking people to kind of stop in the scroll, because stopping the scroll is like the new thing. You have to do these things, stop the scroll. And so once you, and keep your content, like on the social media side, keep it fairly short, but then perhaps lead them to a blog if they want to go deeper. Blogging is another super great way to drive people to your Facebook or your website. Or I'm a big, humongous fan of Google My Business. It's a free platform, and it'll drive traffic to you just out of interest. And then if you do have a physical location, it can actually rank you in the top 3 for people looking for something even remotely related to your field if you do your keywords right. So I also would identify where do you think that your target audience is hanging out the most on, and then make that be your primary platform to be posting, if possible, twice a day, to start building that network. And then giving people a very clear call to action at the end of your short little social media postings. Do more lives on that platform if you can. Live videos, keep them short, less than 3 minutes, and just do like a tip of the day or thought of the day when it comes to that category that you're talking about there. So those are some suggestions. Alignable, if you're looking for small business owners, Alignable is another really great course that's picking up a lot of momentum right now. Yeah. And you can even start your own group. Did you know that?
Within Alignable?
I lead 2 groups there. So it's, I mean, I'm growing organically in my groups there, and it's up to you to keep them engaged, of course, or get a moderator. But those are some really great free resources.
Okay. Can I ask another question of you then?
Sure.
So I don't know if my story is particularly unique, but I became vegan 4 years ago after being diagnosed with breast cancer. And that means I didn't do chemo. That was helpful,
That's
I think.
Unique. Yeah.
And the other unique piece is that my brother is creating the spices for me. And 7 years ago, I donated a kidney to my brother. So we've got another connection that way. So I think there's some human interest that I'm willing to play on. That is quite a differentiation. And you don't think that's crass particularly?
No, I think there's a story there, and you should work that story as much as possible. I'm a big proponent of publicity. You work your angles. You Jill Lublin is my coach. You know who Jill Lublin is, John? Yeah, she's my coach. She's my publicity coach, and she's just like, work everything that you got. You work those angles, and you could actually, do some pretty intense publicity pieces around that story, because that's just not something.
I know, they're both nuts stories. And my brother's an asshole, and he didn't become nice when I gave him a kidney. I shouldn't say that, he might listen one day. I thought that metaphysically he'd become a nicer guy, but he didn't. But he's still good to do business with.
You could do something fun. You could say, talk about organic growth.
Yeah, he thinks about me every time he pees. I'm good.
I love it. Yeah, you can really have some fun on words with that to grab people's attention as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for
stories sell, man. I'm telling you right now, tell that story. A heartfelt story. One of the key components of a good signature talk is starting out with a heartfelt story. What is your story? How did you get in this space?
Okay.
All of a sudden I got diagnosed with breast cancer, and I'm facing chemo, and I'm facing all this other stuff. And I'm like, you know what? There's got to be better alternatives. And so I tried this and I tried that. And fortunately I was not, here I am 4 years later, and I don't have breast cancer. And I, did that through a keto vegan diet. And so I've got a big passion for this to help people out. My brother donated his kidney to me, or I donated my kidney to my brother.
Yeah.
And that's what's driving me. And then now I got their attention, right? Now I've captured their attention, because people are human first.
Yeah.
And then I share with them the content. And then the more you can talk about this on multiple platforms, doesn't have to be a professional video. I mean, you saw how this video went in the beginning. I wasn't even prepared. I'm like, you know what? I think I'm just going to draw on the whiteboard. So bear with me. Boom, 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 boom. People are attracted to authenticity a lot more than they are polished, professional, that sort of thing. And so be yourself, share your heartfelt story, tell them what it's done for you, give them some success stories of other people that it's helped, Give them some sort of something that you can give them for free. Okay. Some sort of 10-step article, free meal idea, whatever. And give them a call to action. And so I'm going to detail all this out and how to craft your signature talk as well. So congratulations. I'm very happy that you've made it through that. And obviously this, I'm looking forward to hearing more about your product for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. It's good. It sticks together and it tastes good. Doesn't fall apart.
Well, just the look on your face and the smile and the energy that you have, it should succeed. It needs to succeed.
It will. There is no choice. There's big plans here.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Oh, you bet. All right. So just a reminder before we go is share your contact. Before we're done here today, share your contact information in the chat window so that way when my assistant processes this whole video and the marketing, your connection information is in there so people can reach out to you. And refer some of your friends. We're here every single Wednesday, 2 p.m. Pacific time. Always going to have a guest speaker. Always going to share a couple of things that are working in business. And then the rest of the call is going to be open to masterminding on real world business problems, challenges, and opportunities. So hope this has been valuable for you. And go out and make it happen. And we will see you next week. Have a great one.
Thank you.
All right. Take care.
Bye, guys. Thanks.